welcome to another edition of Your Bridge to Addiction Resources, a program that is sponsored by the Council on Chemical Abuse and the People Chronicles. My name is Yvonne Stroman. I'm the Community Program Specialist at the Council on Chemical Abuse. And one of the things that I think is very important that the community know about the Council on Chemical Abuse is that we provide public funding for those in the community that have no insurance to afford services. But we also contract with licensed providers in our community to provide those services of inpatient, intensive outpatient services in our community so that people have the best chance of getting well. So we have the honor today to have one of our service providers today, and I'm going to ask if she would introduce herself and tell us a little bit about what she does in the community in that capacity as one of our service providers. So,
hey, I'm Connie Malafrina, and I work for Berks Counseling Center. I'm the Clinical Director of Drug and Alcohol Services there. So as such, we, as Yvonne mentioned, we are licensed. We are a licensed provider with the Department of Drug and Alcohol programs. We provide 2 levels of care there, intensive outpatient and regular outpatient. We work with the council on county-funded clients. Again, those folks who don't have insurance, who are underinsured. Sometimes their insurance, their copay is very high, they can't afford it. So we seek funding through Council on Chemical Abuse for those clients. We also work with the council. We have some recovery houses that we have for women with children who have a history of addiction. We have some case management for women with children who have some kind of substance use disorder. So we have that and you know, a lot of we provide a lot services.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You also do STAP, Student Assistant Program.
Yes,
as
that's
well.
true. Yes, we also have a Student Assistance Program. We provide SAP services for the Citadel, Reading High School, and the elementary schools. So thank you. That is another service that we provide. So we have a lot of services. We do a lot of things out in the community. I usually go out to represent us at different activities. We've participated with Berks Hope, and we have information tables there. I think there was recently a Spanish-speaking version that one of our staff spoke at. So we really try to get the word out to people and let them know about our services so we can help as many people as possible.
And how long have you been with Berks Counseling Center? You've been with the organization for a number of years, Connie.
Yes, I started out as an intern,
Yeah.
so I've been there as an employee for 9+ years. I started out my internship there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And now you're a supervisor.
And now, yeah, I'm a supervisor, but then I also got the title of Clinical Director of Drug and Alcohol Services.
Okay,
so.
Good, good. So we're talking about, in terms of Berks Counseling Center and the myriad of services that you provide, and more specifically as it relates to the relationship between Berks Counseling Center and the Council on Chemical Abuse Services, which have been in existence for a long time.
Longer than I've been there.
Yeah. We were talking about outpatient versus intensive outpatient. Okay. Can you kind of talk about the difference between the two?
Intensive outpatient, as it sounds, is a more intensive level of treatment. A lot of times folks who've never been in treatment before, who are really struggling with trying to stop using or drinking, who may have come from an inpatient facility and they need that extra support. So our intensive outpatient program, they attend 3 groups a week, and they also meet with their counselor once a week. We also we have a lot of other services. We have peer support specialists. We work with TASK for recovery, if they need recovery support specialists. So there's a lot of support if they may need housing, if they need, we have a special program for women with children called Maternal Dependency Program. That's an intensive outpatient program. And if they need child care services while they're coming to those groups, we provide that also. That's what they call higher level of care because they need more supports. Sometimes people don't need as much support. They're struggling, but they've managed to stay clean for a little while, but they need something, or they step down from an intensive outpatient to outpatient. That they generally attend 1 group a week, and then they see their counselor as needed, weekly, bi-weekly. It really depends on the individual. Our treatment, we really try to individualize to what folks need.
Mm-hmm. And how can someone access your services?
Good question. We have open access Monday through Friday. People can just walk through our doors from 8:30 to noon. And then they will meet with a financial specialist to determine their insurance, and that's where we, sometimes we get involved with COCA, because somebody will not have insurance, and if they have a drug and alcohol substance use disorder, then we would request funding from COCA.
Okay. And so is there an assessment that is done during that time as well?
Yes, people are assessed. We look at and we provide services for not only drug and alcohol, but also mental health. And the great majority of the people who come through our door need what's called co-occurring or dual services. They have both mental health and substance use disorder issues. So we assess for all of that. We also look at any kind of other needs they have. Do they need legal help? Do they need help with education? Do they need just basic things like they're homeless? They may need help with connecting with other community resources for food if they can't afford to to buy food. So we also assess that at the same time, look at what are all the needs of this person and how can we help them.
And what is the length of time that an individual can be receiving your services?
That really varies. It's based on the individual. Intensive outpatient, that's generally, it's like it says, it's intensive, so it usually is approximately a month for that, but it really depends on the person and what they need. That's kind of a ballpark. And then when they're doing regular outpatient, that's approximately 3 months, but again, it's really individualized. Those with co-occurring may need longer services. The other thing for folks who do not have another place to get their psychiatric medications can continue to come to us even after they finish formal treatment and be in our medication management clinic.
Okay. All right. And we're talking right now about the individual who is kind of a volunteer. They have said, I need some help, I need some services, and so they're going in under their own volition. But you also deal with those who might be court mandated as well. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
It varies. Some people who are court mandated, they don't necessarily want to be there, so we do utilize different techniques such as motivational interviewing to encourage them, provide a lot of psychoeducation about what's going on with them, and try to provide them with as many supports as possible. We work closely with Children and Youth Services and the probation, both juvenile and adult probation, and even state. We also have a contract with federal pretrial and probation services, so we work with them, and we get we get people from them also.
Yeah, and I think it's important, Connie, to mention that you work with individuals who might be mandated, but you really are their support mechanism. You really do try to encourage them to take a look at the quality of their life and take a look at why they're actually involved with another social service agency, but how they can turn their life around so that they can be outside of that system also.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that that's very important, that you're not another channel of kind of being punitive, if you will, but you really are acting as supportive agents on behalf of the individual.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so talking about Berks Counseling Center, because you do provide a number of other services, you also have what we call, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like a continuation of care, a continuum of care. And so an individual can really start from here and then here through all of those different services.
That's correct. One of the things that we do, and that's something else that is funded by Counsel on Chemical Abuse, is early recovery support groups. So there might be somebody who finished their formal groups. They're doing pretty well, but they still need that extra support. It's a voluntary group that they can come to and then just work with their peers. We actually have, because we have peer support specialists on staff, it's actually a peer support specialist who may or may not be in recovery from substance use, but they definitely have a mental health diagnosis and they're in recovery from that. And they are there to just help the peers be able to talk to each other, and they pick the topic and they discuss what their concerns are and kind of support each other.
Right.
So we really try to help them all the way through. And then again, if somebody finishes formal treatment, we call them in like 30 days to check on how they're doing. If they need to come back, then they come back, or people call us and say, hey, I'm really struggling, I think I need to come back into treatment, so we bring them back. So
yeah. And doing this work in terms of helping others, how has this work impacted you personally and professionally?
Well, it's really ironic that I got into this field, not into counseling per se, but into substance use, because it's a number of years ago, but in 1995, my parents were killed by a drunk driver. So I went to counseling myself to help me deal with this. And then I decided at that point, when I was in my 40s, that I wanted to go back to school to become a counselor. So I went back, and ironically, I got my internship at Berks Counseling Center. Of course, then I learned a lot more, about substance use disorder. And I think some of, just my background and everything, I think it's just helped me, and I know sometimes I've had people say to me, well, don't you hate us, I'm like, no, because I understand what's going on, so I really have a good perspective of, I know the person who was driving that car, has a substance use disorder, she needed help, and I think it also helps me to be more compassionate with people. Yeah. So that's something that not everybody knows about me, but that kind of was the catalyst to get me into the field to begin with.
Wow. Well, and the service and the level of work that you do at Berks Counseling Center is just voluminous, and there are folks that are coming in and out, and I know that because our offices, our organizations are kind of right next door to each other. So want to just kind of really thank you for doing a yeoman's job at the Berks Counseling Center, and just want to let folks know out there that's viewing this podcast that if there is more information that people would like for the Berks Counseling Center, how can they get that information?
Well, our phone number, we do have a website, and I think it's www.berkscounseling.org. And our phone number is 610-373-4281.
Okay, great. And so usually there is someone who's answering the phone and can actually guide them to the place that they need to get to. Yes, we are open
right now from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Oh, great.
Starting next year, we're going to have Saturday hours from 9 a.m. to noon. So we're expanding expanding not just hours, but other services also.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Connie. And for those that also would like to know more about the Council on Chemical Abuse, we invite you to visit our website at www.cocaberks.org. That's COCABERKS.org. This is your Bridge to Addiction Resources. We thank you for joining us. I'm Yvonne Stroman. Have a great day.
Check back every week for a new story with your Bridge to Addiction Resources. You can call 610-376-8669 or visit online at cocaberks.org. COCABERKS.org. Be sure to like and follow the Council on Chemical Abuse on Facebook and Twitter.